here again for another random rant, and this one I'm going to try and keep calm with. I could very easily, I don't know, I can lose my temper pretty easily on stuff like this. I get worked up and then nothing changes, and it just drives me nuts dealing with absolute ignorance of people. So I figured I'd go ahead and actually just kind of make I'm going to try and make it a short little video. I've tried a few times now, and I get way carried away and it gets way too long in that. So I'm going to try and give it a shot and keep it just super short, super simple, and see what happens here. Today I want to talk about, there was a documentary, and I cannot think of the name of it right now. I'll get it, I'll put it in the notes underneath, or maybe throw it across the screen here in a text, but it's something like the myth behind the it's about pit bulls, the myth behind the breed or something like that, I'm not sure. And it was a documentary I just watched on Netflix the other day, and the show was talking all about how the media have basically sensationalized pit bull attacks. And I have said for years that pit bull attacks are not any more likely than any other breed, and actually they're less likely. If you do the math, they're not the big deal, but they're what makes the headlines, and they're what happens all the time. I was in the pet industry for an exceptionally long time. I dealt with manufacturing lines of pet toys, all kind of stuff, all the way to owning a retail shop for around a decade. So I've had a lot of firsthand knowledge dealing with people and stuff and that when it comes to the concept of different breeds and stuff. I've had people bring their dogs in the shop and that. I had an open door policy for all pets. I used to have a sign that said pets welcome, children must be leashed, kind of thing. And there was a large part of me that really felt that the kids did more damage in the store than any animal ever could. But that's a different topic here. So I had people bringing in animals all the time. Like I said, I had numerous different breeds I loved, numerous breeds I didn't really care for. And the one I never trusted personally from just bad experience, but I believe it was 90% bad owners, same as the pit bulls, it's 90% bad owners. But I never liked the chow. It was my personal, I just never have had a fan of the dog. I've never seen an intelligent one, none of that stuff. But that's a different topic again here. My store was in a town that had put an ordinance in saying no pit bulls. I had numerous customers of mine who had pit bulls as puppies, and they had them as dogs and so on and so forth. And they used to bring them in my store off and on. Never had a concern. One of my very good friends, very good customer, she had a pit bull, and she lived literally, her house set on the property, the line of the town where I lived in, the city ordinance, and her garage set outside the city limits. That's the way the city limits lived and stuff. So she technically had set up a bed, a little run, a little kennel type thing in the garage that they kept heated all winter and stuff. That way, in case somebody showed up, they could see that's where the dog lives. And the dog was technically outside the city limits. Pain in the ass move. The dog was one of the nicest, sweetest, biggest chicken and they're actually dog I've ever seen. The dog was hilarious, and it's a giant, humongous, large, beautiful pit bull, and it was a great dog. And I remember literally one of her friends came over with a little wiener dog. We're talking a little miniature wiener dog, little Dachshund, and he come running their stuff, and this giant 65-pound pit bull literally tucked tail and ran from this wiener dog, and went and hid, jumped up on his bed. They had a full twin bed in the garage for him. Jumped up on the bed to hide from this little wiener dog so he couldn't get to him. It was the funniest thing ever. I had babies playing with that dog in the store and stuff. Everything. Never had a problem. I had people bring in boxers, Great Danes, Rottweilers, American Bulldogs, all kinds of stuff. Never had a problem with any dog except little ones. People bring their little chihuahuas and crap, and they would be the ones that would nip. They'd be the ones that want to bark. They'd be the ones that want to go crazy. Because people think, oh, he's little, I don't need to teach him anything. It's all right if he bites somebody because he's small, it won't hurt. And that's the problem where it comes into, it's the two-legged animals that claim ownership of the four-legged, what people are justifying as beast and evil animals and all that kind of crap, of the pit bulls, the Rottweilers, all that kind of crap. It's not the dogs that are the problem. It's the owners not training their dogs properly. And I literally had dealt with bull terriers, which are the Spuds MacKenzie dog. They are one of the most bull-headed, stubborn, aggressive dogs and stuff. And I've literally rolled around stuff. And I've actually taken the time when customers bring dogs and are acting crappy, I would help discipline those dogs. I would literally kind of take it on myself, knowing the fact that if somebody got bit in my store, even by somebody else's dog, it's still going to come back on my insurance. They're going to sue them and sue me both. So I would help discipline people's dogs and stuff. I worked with all kinds of dogs over the years. I mean, we're talking giant Great Danes, great big 200-pound St. Bernards, all the way down to little tiny Chihuahuas and crap. And there's just so much stuff out there that a guy can do with them. That pit bulls are one of the, more loyal, one of the nicer breeds out there if they're not trained to fight. One of the things they talked about in that documentary was how Michael Vick, one of the reasons he got in trouble was for them killing so many of the dogs that they had been breeding to fight. And the reason they killed these dogs because they weren't fighting in the ring. They were literally put them in the ring. And when it comes to fighting dogs, I've done a bunch of research. I've tried to actually help bust a couple dog fighting rings and crap over the years. And there's a lot of stuff just because I'm a fan of knowledge. Anything I can know about things will help me live my life. And one of the problems Vic had was there was like 80 dogs in 1 month. They basically euthanized by drowning, by hanging, by all kinds of stupid shit they did to kill these dogs because the dogs wouldn't fight. They put them in a ring to fight the other dog, and the dog literally didn't have a fighting mentality in him. Falls in the same thing with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, now he's not in the ring. The dude is a really mellow, sweet kind of guy. But if you watched him in his Holyfield fight and he's biting the dude's ear off, the guy's lost his mind crazy. And you're thinking, well, we can never have males, human beings in this country because they commit a lot of crimes. And that's true. White males are the ones that commit, between 18 and 25 are the ones that commit the most drunk driving incidents. We don't say, oh, get rid of all white males in our town because they commit, drunk driving accidents. But yeah, we want to get rid of the damn pit bulls because some pit bulls have been known to bite. You watch any news article and a pit bull is involved in a bite, and it comes across headline, vicious pit bull attack, or pit bull bites child, or such and such and such and such. It's always pit bull in the headline with the attack. Golden retriever bites child, it says child bit by dog, see page 4 or whatever. And, if it's a Great Dane that bites somebody, it's such and such and such, and then eventually Great Dane. Anytime a pit bull or pit bull type dog is involved, the pit bull makes the top headline. It's ridiculous. One of the things they had in that documentary I loved was there was a couple there who had a pit bull, wonderful dog, whatever, and they were out walking it in the town where there was no ordinance, and a lady come walking by with her little son, and they talk like he was 3 to 5 year old. I don't remember exactly what they said, but the kid's loving the dog. He's pulling his ears, he's hugging him and crap, and at one point actually climbed on the back of the dog and was riding the dog like a horse, like literally was sitting on top of this dog like a horse. And then the woman had mentioned to this woman and her father who had the pit bull, oh, I was really thinking about getting a dog. What kind of dog is he? Because he seems like such a wonderful dog. I wouldn't mind looking into getting one of those for my son. And they basically looked at her and just clearly said, oh, he's a basically pit bull, but they said a Horshire Terrier, which is a form, because pit bull is technically a generic name. It's kind of like saying that's a Chevrolet as opposed to that's a Camaro. It's, a generic breed. They said pit bull, and that mother snatched up her son, who was sitting on the dog at the time, like freaked out, screamed, how dare you have a vicious dog around a child, and so on and so forth. Literally, a minute earlier, you were saying how he was such a great dog, you would love to get one like him. Then you find out it's a pit bull and you lose your mind. So people are just ignorant. I hate ignorance. And the reason I say ignorance as opposed to stupidity is because they have never taken the time to learn. If they took the time to learn and they knew the true facts, the true evidence, and then chose to ignore them, that makes them stupid. Right now, I think 95% of the public out there, when it comes to pit bull or pit bull type breeds, are ignorant to the pit bull breed and have never been around them. Most people can't even identify a pit bull. If you line them up and you line up a bunch of dogs, most people pick a boxer as a pit bull. Most people pick, also another one they pick a lot is American Bulldog. They think it's a pit bull. Most people don't even recognize a pit bull. I've had people actually ask, well, that looks like a beagle. What kind of dog is that exactly? And it was a damn pit bull, and they thought it looked like a beagle. So people are dumb when it comes to picking out their breeds. They assume pit bulls are going to be vicious, slobbering at the mouth, the whole 9 yards, and they're not that way. I literally have been around hundreds of pit bulls in my life, and I would have no care in the world. I've never met an aggressive pit bull. I have met protective pit bulls. Totally different world. You get a protective pit bull is a whole different thing from a aggressive pit bull. But I've met aggressive boxers, I've met aggressive German Shepherds, I've met way many 8-pound and under aggressive dogs that literally want to bite you, that kind of stuff. My wife, in all the years we had the pet store and all the animals, was bit by one dog in her entire life in that scenario. As a young girl, I think she was bit by a dog. That's a different thing. I don't know that story. But I was there the day she was bitten. Well, I'm back here. I'm not sure that really cut off. my car went full, and apparently, I don't know if it's just the wind noise in the car here or what, but I didn't hear it. I guess beep at me telling me the car was full. So anyway, I think I left off somewhere right around the point where I was mentioning all the years with all the animals we've been around, all that stuff we've done. My wife has been bitten by one dog. I've not been bitten by a dog at all, except like during helping out with like vet exams and that kind of stuff. I was bit on, but that was an animal that's having basically like tests done and stuff, and it was a really bad situation. And I also was bitten by a couple dogs in the process of trying to break up a fight, which I also don't blame, but I was bitten. Those dogs were fighting, and in the process of separating them, I was, bit. But I also was bit once. I had a dog that was, when I was younger, was trapped and was tangled up in a fence and like wiring type junk. I was trying to get him out, and that dog bit me. Also, again, just out of complete fear because it thought it was dying and thought I was there to harm it. My wife, the one time I know she was bit, she may have been bit as a young girl, but that I'm not certain of. I don't remember the exact story. I don't remember if it was her or sister, but one of the two I think happened. I was there the day she was actually bit by a friend of ours. They had a Cocker Spaniel, I think it's Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix that had bit her, and it was the one time with all the animals we've been around, all that kind of stuff, the one time she was bitten by a dog. So, and what that was basically I was hanging out there, she had left, she'd come back, and the dog was sitting up next to the owner, or the owner's daughter, I'm not sure which one, I think it might have been sitting between the two of them, and my wife come walking up at the time, just not thinking nothing about it, put her hand out to pet the dog, and the dog nipped at her, actually punctured the skin, she was bleeding. She continued to pet the dog even after being bit. She pulled her hand back, realized she was bit, no big deal. Went ahead and wanted to make sure the dog knew that that dog didn't get away with biting somebody, got what he wanted. What he wanted was her not to be standing right there next to his owner, and she wasn't going to let that go. So, had we reported that, it would have, if it didn't even make the paper, it would have said, one, bit by dogs, what it would have said. Had it been a pit bull or pit bull type breed, it would have said vicious, or at least would have said pit bull bites woman. It would have had the pit bull in the headline. And that's where everybody thinks pit bulls are the only ones that do dog attacks, because that's the only name you see. You never see golden retriever bites woman, or bites child, or child killed by, cat, which there's more cats killed by, or more children killed by cats in this country than there are dogs. I mean, it's an insane amount of number of them killed by cats, mostly babies being suffocated by cats, but that never makes the headlines. Nobody cares about that because cats are soft and cats are cuddly and whatever the hell. They never think of that as being vicious. They've never made a movie like Cujo with a cat. So you have those type of horrible situations, helps see, pushing people over the edge. The other one very similar to that is a constrictor snake ban. I, again, say the snakes aren't the ones that are the problem. It's the poor owners, poor cages, that kind of situation. So train your dog, educate your dog, all that good stuff. You won't have nothing to worry about. Don't train your dog, don't educate your dog, and guess what? You're going to have problems no matter what kind of dog you have. So my biggest thing is, I get so pissed off at the fact that people don't research, they don't get smart about the information, they stay ignorant, they choose to stay ignorant, which drives me absolutely crazy. Why anybody would choose to stay ignorant just pisses me off. So do a little research, just even your own personal thing, just get online, your local paper, I don't know how big an area you're in, look it up and see where they are, that kind of thing, go from there, and just keep track of what type of animals are the ones that did the bites. Go ask your veterinary, how many dogs come in that are aggressive, that are pit bull or pit bull type breeds, as opposed to little 8-pound and less dogs that are not trained, not disciplined at all, and they're just shitty little dogs. So anyway, biggest thing I say is if you have one in your area that's close by, find a local pit bull shelter, pit bull rescue league, something like that. Go do some research. Even a pit bull club with ones that are not trying to rescue out, educate yourself on them. Get informed, because once they do the pit bull ban, it's going to be German Shepherd ban, it's going to be Boxer ban, it's going to be like Germany, but there's 75 dogs in that list, and next thing you know, your dog's in that list also, and you can't have your dog, whether it be a beagle, whether it be whatever, it just keeps going, they get crazy. So put a restriction on ownership, not on the dog. Make sure you have to have an educated owner and it has a disciplined dog. Make the dog go through some kind of like testing. The dog knows sit, come, stay. The dog knows general disciplinary actions, and just have a good time. But just do the research, please, all I ask. Go volunteer at an animal shelter, especially with pit bulls. If not pit bulls, with any type of dog. Dogs need love. take the dogs for a walk, brush them. I don't know any shelter out there that doesn't need help if they're willing to actually let you do it. Some of them are shitty as hell and you got to go through a bunch of hassle to even work with them, so just avoid those. There's always some people out there, whether it be through Craigslist or whatever, you can find people who are looking to foster dogs out. You can basically foster care the dogs for a while until they find them a permanent forever home. So please go do that. Please educate yourself in that. I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, I think. This has been one of my better ones. I haven't went stupid, pissed off about the facts, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with this, and hopefully you guys will go ahead and do some research in that and have yourself a safe and wonderful day. And I guess just if you have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer any of them for you. So take care, and thanks for giving me a chance to blow off some steam here and speak my mind. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.